So here's an infuriating headline from Politico, if I've ever seen one. Ex-Sessions spokeswoman is joining CNN as political editor. Sarah Isker will coordinate political coverage for the 2020 campaign at the network. Now, on that fact alone, terrible idea. Jeff Sessions' spokeswoman is going to be a political editor at CNN overlooking 2020 coverage. Jeff Sessions is the guy who said, good people don't smoke weed. Jeff Sessions is one of the furthest right senators in modern American history. To have his spokeswoman be in charge of news coverage for 2020 as if she's going to be some sort of an objective arbiter, I honestly think that's hilariously stupid. She shared doctored Planned Parenthood coverage. Remember the undercover sting thing from James O'Keefe and all those hacks? She shared that. So she's one of these anti-Planned Parenthood lunatics. Also, she questioned climate change. She's going to be overseeing 2020 coverage. Now, when this leaked and there was a backlash to it, oh my God, all the CNN hacks were, trying to cover their own ass. Oh no, see, her role isn't as big as you think it is. It's just a smaller part of the overall 2020 coverage, and we got a lot of employees, and beep, 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 beep. Under no circumstances should she be in charge of overseeing 2020 coverage, even if it's just a tiny sliver of the 2020 coverage. I mean, insanity this is. Now, why would they do this? Listen, the reality is CNN is always accused of having a liberal bias. Liberal bias, liberal bias, liberal bias, liberal bias, liberal bias. That's what the right wing screams all day and night. So CNN bends over backwards to try to counteract that narrative. And in the process of doing it, they'll do stupid shit like this. So that when somebody on the right says, oh my God, liberal bias, they get to go, us? Bro, look, we hired Sarah Isker. This is Jeff Sessions' former spokeswoman. I mean, obviously we're not liberally biased. She's overseeing 2020 coverage. She's a dyed-in-the-wool right-winger. What do you mean? So, like, to combat those accusations, they hire somebody like this, and then they get to play the, us? Bro, we're neutral. We look at both sides, because they can point to her, they can point to people who are not on the left, but who are sympathetic to corporate Democrats, who are centrists. So they go, oh, we got the centrists, and we got these, the right-wingers, so we're good, right? Actually, no, this is the problem. You have an establishment bias. By the way, this Sarah Isker woman, she worked in the Trump administration, okay? She had to go to Trump and say, sir, I'm on board with your agenda. Can I please get hired to work with Jeff Sessions when Jeff Sessions was in the administration? And because she had said anti-Trump shit back during the campaign was happening. So she had to go and kiss the ring and do a loyalty pledge. And then she was working in the Trump administration. But they hired her, I'm sure nominally, because she's like, yeah, I don't really like Trump, but I'm also right-wing. So that's exactly what I would expect from hacky CNN. It's like, okay, we love right-wingers as long as they don't like Trump. Even though she worked in the Trump administration, she has a history of critical Trump tweets. So, I mean, think about it. This is why you see, like, Bill Kristol is yucking it up on the Morning Joe panel. Bill Kristol is a fucking neocon war criminal who's never met a war he didn't like. Max Boot is now, all over the place. Max Boot is another idiot neocon who's never had an intelligent thought in his life on foreign policy. But now these guys are put front and center as if it's like, oh, they're on the right, but they don't like Trump. How intellectual of them. No, they're fucking idiots. Just because they don't like Trump, that's easy. What a low bar. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't like Trump, therefore I'm an intellectual. No, you're still a fucking jackass. So, but this is classic CNN. Like, that's the spectrum of debate. Let's get establishment right-wing hacks and establishment liberal hacks, pro-Democratic Party hacks, and then you get to turn around to everybody and say, bro, we're neutral. Don't you guys love neutrality, bro? No, the spectrum of debate that's allowed at CNN is the Democratic Party is 100% right and the Republican Party is 100% right, and that's it. You can't go right of that. You can't go left of that. So, by the way, how many pro-Bernie Sanders voices are there in the media? I'll wait. Has CNN been, emailing me nonstop and saying, Kyle, we just hired this right-winger in order to oversee 2020 election coverage. We think you should come here, too, for balance's sake, to oversee 2020 election coverage. Oh, please. They don't let people like me in the fucking building. Actually, the only people who did, credit to them, was Fox News, and they didn't know what they were getting. So, there's one. Nina Turner's the only one that they allow in on these shows. That's it. Everybody else is... Oh, you're a Bernie supporter? He's old. Far left. Pass the champagne and caviar and get me my private driver, please. So they are the hacks of all hacks. By the way, let me give you some more information on Sarah Isker. She was also deputy campaign manager for Carly Fiorina's presidential campaign. So objective she'll be with the 2020 news. She worked for Mitt Romney. She worked for the RNC. And my favorite, she worked for Ted Cruz. Also, she has donut journalistic experience. None. Zilch. Nada. Zero. So let's hire somebody to oversee our news coverage with no news experience, no journalism experience, no experience as a reporter, but a hack who worked for the RNC, Ted Cruz, Carly Fiorina, and Jeff Sessions. Are you trying to be just objectively shitty? Is that what you're going to try to do here? Listen, and that's one of the problems with CNN, is they have a bias towards the establishment and towards neutrality. Okay? And the bias towards the establishment is obvious. Like I just told you, they have pro-Democratic Party voices, pro-Republican Party voices, and that's the spectrum of debate that's allowed, even though both parties are massively corrupt and everybody hates them. And the neutrality bias is, what do you mean? We have voices from both sides, therefore you're getting the truth here. No. Neutrality is not the same thing as objectivity. Objectivity means keeping it real no matter what. So objectivity means both parties are massively corrupt and they're coming to screw you, and very few people are talking about it in a serious way, and very few politicians are actually looking out for you. That's the truth. That is an opinion you will never hear on CNN, ever. Ever. You either get rah-rah Republican Party or rah-rah Democratic Party. And they have gone so down the rabbit hole of shittiness, there's no way out. There's no way out. They will never turn into a network that does a good job anymore. They're done. They're not going to report the facts to you. They're not going to hold people in power accountable. Their entire network is just one establishment hack after another, cheerleading either the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. That's the spectrum of debate that's allowed, which is why, by the way, none of them saw Bernie Sanders coming. None of them know what's about to hit them with Bernie Sanders. The framing is always going to be, he's a Looney Tune, he's far left, he's insane, and he's got no chance. So, now you know, but honestly, from a selfish perspective, I shouldn't even be attacking them for all this stuff, because they make us popular. And listen, I don't hide what my beliefs are, but I'm a political commentator, but I also believe in Bernie Sanders' philosophy because I believe in social democracy, and I believe in social democracy because of the studies that prove that it's superior and that it makes sense. So I don't hide that. I tell you up front, but one thing I make sure I do is always give you the facts and the information and always back up my claims and always try to hold power accountable. That's not something you're going to see on CNN. It's one political hack after another, but they have $1 billion budget, so they get away with it, and they force themselves into your world, whether you're at the fucking bar, you're at the airport, and it's the only thing that's on TV. So, thank you, CNN, for making my YouTube political commentary show somehow better than your shitty-ass establishment hack network.